I'm Michael Escobar, Senior Editor for Hospitality Technology Magazine. And today I'm honored to have with me John Edwards, CIO of Redline Hotels, and John Reeves, Vice President of IT Development and Operations. This year, Redline was one of our Hotel Visionary Award winners. And today we're going to talk with these two gentlemen a little bit more about their company's winning initiative. Welcome to you both.
Thanks.
So for those unfamiliar with it, John, can you tell me a little bit about your technology initiative and how it won for our Visionary Award this year?
Yeah, absolutely. So our initiative really was really to build a new CRM. Red Lion had a few CRM solutions over the past 5 years as we've transitioned from an owned and managed portfolio into more of a franchised and asset light portfolio. Our needs have changed quite a bit, and our hotels, the scale and the number of our hotels has changed almost exponentially. And so with that, we really had to we've moved into different requirements for CRM and how we manage loyalty and how we manage guests, the number of hotels we're connected to, and then the number of systems we're connected to. And so we really, this whole initiative was centered around how do we create a better solution for our hotels? How do we create a better experience for the loyalty team and the marketing team at the corporate office? How do we get better data in the hands of our hotels so they can provide a better customer service experience for the guests? And then at the same time, though, how do we take advantage of modern technology? How do we really focus on new ways that we can look at connectivity and new ways we can look at systems, and how do we connect all that? And so really that was one of the big drivers here was we wanted to take our hospitality systems and connect them to more industry agnostic real CRM solutions. So not just focused on a hospitality CRM, but an overall platform that would allow us to continue to grow as Redline continues to change. And I think with that, I'll let John kind of explain a little bit more on how the integrations work, right, and really why this was such a new solution for us in the industry and for us at Redline.
Sure, thanks, John. We had a number of challenges. One of the big ones was the quality of the data that we could get out of the systems that we had been on. Some of the others were how do we take and John touched on this, but how do we take data from all of these disparate systems and integrate them into a single platform in a way that we can trust that the source data matches where it lands in the CRM, so that our loyalty team can have confidence in their ability to market against that data. And so it really was one of the biggest challenges I think that this team has ever been up against, and we killed it. It was great. It was. And maybe we can get into some of the weeds in a later question or something, but it really was, when you say the term cross-functional, it was a multidisciplinary team that was working together under a really tight timeline, and the whole thing came together really well, and the goals were achieved and then some, and then we've had the good fortune and the ability to iterate on top of it since the initial release.
Absolutely. I remember when we were reviewing this submission that I was blown away by the amount of work you guys accomplished and in the time frame that you did it in. It was just unbelievable. It was amazing. So just to kind of build on this, I know you touched on some of these things, and it's totally fine to go back and talk about them a little bit more, but what do you think makes your win so unique?
Yeah, I think part of it's exactly what we were just talking about, right? So we could have never done what we could not have built the solution we built in a 6-month time frame if we didn't really rethink the way that we would normally approach this, right? We would traditionally many of us in the industry, and I know us at Redline, would traditionally go after, submit, get an RFP going, right? Get some industry specific solutions that meet our needs, and we would go through the normal process, knowing that we had just 6 months. We still, completely vetted out the platform that the different platforms we could use, but it was really about, okay, we need to find a best of breed CRM platform. We need to find integration partners. We need to find ways that we can take what we already have working and make that work for this new CRM solution. So I think one of the things that's so unique is the number of connections that we were able to, or the data connections, I should say, to be more specific, that we were able to bring into the CRM that we didn't have before. Not only was it amazing, in my opinion, that we were able to do it in the time we did it, and to John's point, it could never have happened without everybody, right, working together and all the different cross-functional teams working towards the same goal. But really was about finding some of the right integration solution providers, and also working with our software platform providers we already had in place, right? Whether that's Oracle or ASI or Sabre or Windsurfer, and then adding to the mix the team at Happy, right? Finding all these third parties and getting them all working together was an art in itself and a feat in and of itself, beyond just building a CRM. And it really was, I will say, it was extremely refreshing from my perspective, from let's say an executive and traditional hospitality IT perspective, to see all the vendors starting to work together to say, okay, we understand what you guys are trying to accomplish. We understand how it meets your needs, and we also understand kind of how it fits some of our overall strategy and goals. So let's figure out how to work together and really move forward. I think that was one of the things that was so unique. I think the other thing that was unique was the way that we really focused on trying to find, as I mentioned earlier, a platform that was not industry specific in any way. So we landed on the Microsoft Dynamics 365 platform, and primarily because we wanted to, our marketing team and our loyalty team really wanted to take advantage of some of the best of breed or the industry agnostic products, right, that are more modern and more consumer focused, right, as opposed to a traditional hospitality CRM, right, that's really just kind of focused on integrations and making it work within our industry. How do we take some of the other, really good ideas from outside of our industry and apply those into a platform that really isn't specific to just us? And so I think that was one of the other things that I felt that was really unique about the overall goal and the plan, was that allows us to now bring additional hospitality systems into the same platform and take advantage of all the other tools that Microsoft can bring us on the Dynamics 365 side. I will say too, and kind of to hand off to John for just a second, some of the integration work that we did, I think was extremely unique in the way that we looked at it, much differently than we have in the past, where it was a one-to-one connection.
Excellent. And then John, did you have anything that you wanted to add?
I mean, John talked about really all the salient points. There's maybe one thing I would add is just to kind of layer on top of the decision around Dynamics 365. John just talked about how we weren't looking for something that was industry specific. We felt like we had given all of those a look, and none of them really met all of the requirements that we needed. Part of the decision, a big part in my opinion, around the Dynamics 365 platform was just the heavy investment by Microsoft in that direction. It gave us a level of comfort that this wasn't a platform that's going to go away. They're clearly competing with Salesforce in that space, and so and then we took a look at their APIs and just the technology stack in general, and it's cutting edge. The other piece, kind of the secret sauce of really the whole thing, is an integration layer that we built in Azure that houses a lot of the business rules, but is also kind of the central hub for all of the integrations flowing into this solution, and then flowing, getting processed in the right ways. Again, all of that data validation happening, and then the data landing in the right places. So that was really good. And I want to call out Evoke Technologies as a strategic partner that really came through in a crunch on that specific piece of the project. So that was awesome.
Excellent. Thank you so much, both of you, for giving us so much in-depth information on what was going on in the back end with this IT project, this IT initiative. It's really cool to see, when we're out here just kind of experiencing it in real life, we don't know about all of the hard work that went into it on the back end. So that's really awesome. And then I'd like to ask both of you, what does it mean to be able to win an award like this for your company?
Yeah. Personally, I think it validates a lot of what we've been working on for the last 3, 4, 5 years. Over the last, I'd say about just beyond 5 years, we've really focused. RLHC has focused on moving away from that owned and managed Pacific Northwest hotel group into more of a full nationwide franchise solution, and part of that has been a lot of the IT initiatives around innovation. The way that we've created a culture that really focuses on new solutions, thinking a little differently, and also really working together. I think one of the points that John made originally in the first segment really was about the fact that it was a team effort across the entire organization, and so marketing and the loyalty team, they were so integral, but also involved. They were there with us when we went live. They, the go live is always, a go no go type of thing, and it was great, and it went off pretty much without a hitch. I mean, they all have some hiccups, but it was successful, right? And they were actually right there with us. They were working with us. They were just as focused on making this work. I would say from the executive team all the way down through the corporate group, it was really a focus around taking a lot of what we've done and what we've set up to be able to succeed. And this is really one of the first big projects that we've been able to produce completely either in-house or with third-party groups that work with us normally, and build something kind of from scratch, and see that come to fruition. And then also just to get an award like this, I think was really just validated the entire process.
Well, thank you so much for those kind words. I really appreciate it. And it's true, when we get amazing submissions such as yours, we want to give them recognition because we want everybody in the industry to know how hard you guys are working, how hard everybody is working to try to improve the experience on the front end, on the back end, for the guest, for everyone. So we really appreciate that. And then just in closing, I had a quick question for you. Is there any updates that you can share with us on upcoming IT developments that you have planned for 2021?
Yeah, actually. So, we launched the CRM that we're talking about today. And then we also, right before that, had launched a new website. And so, COVID being what it is, has created some turmoil this year. But going into next year, we're really focused on bringing those two solutions really together in a richer integration, and which really is going to drive a whole lot more a better customer experience online, a better e-commerce customer experience, or more enriched customer experience, as well as then to be able to provide more data to the hotels, and more interaction between the hotel and the guest, right? In a weird sort of way, where we are with the global pandemic, right, has created a little bit more of a need for the guest and the hotel to have that pre-arrival conversation in real time. And so how do we continue to work together with other third-party providers, but take the CRM solution we've built, and the e-commerce platform that we've built, and really start to bring those together into one ecosystem and one experience for the guest.
Awesome. Well, I know I can't wait to see how that happens. I'm really looking forward to it. And thank you both so much for spending some time with us today, chatting about your win. Of course, this was just a small taste of Red Lion Hotel's win. To learn more about it, we'd really love for you to visit our website, hospitalitytech.com, and search for the 2020 Hotel Visionary Awards, where you'll find the cover story that goes into even more depth about this technology win. But again, thank you so much, John Edwards, and thank you so much, John Reeves. We really appreciate it.
Thank you
very much.